The Space Party Crashers. The big day was here. Humans were finally going to space, not just to the moon or Mars, but to meet real aliens. It was the year 2150, and Earth was super excited. Sarah Chen stood in front of her mirror, fixing her hair. She was the boss of the human space team. Today, she would speak for all humans. She was a bit scared, but mostly excited. "We can do this," she told herself. The human spaceship, called Star Jumper, was shiny and new. It looked like a big silver fish. Inside, Sarah and her team got ready. There was Tom, the funny pilot, Maria, the smart science lady, and Big Mike, who knew all about aliens. "Ready, team?" Sarah asked. They all nodded, big smiles on their faces. Star Jumper took off. It went up, 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 past the clouds, past the moon, and into deep space. Tom pressed a special button. Whoosh! The ship went super fast, faster than light. After a while, they saw it. The alien space station. It was huge, like a city floating in space. It had tall towers and blinking lights. It looked magical. "Wow," whispered Maria. Everyone agreed. It was amazing. The Star Jumper parked near the station. Sarah and her team put on their spacesuits. They were a bit tight and made funny squeaky noises when they moved. They floated to the station's door. Sarah's heart was beating fast. What would the aliens be like? Would they be friendly? The door opened with a hiss, and there they were, aliens, lots of them. Some were tall and skinny, with big eyes. Others were short and round, with tentacles. One looked like a talking tree. They all stared at the humans. Sarah stepped forward. She smiled her best smile. "Hello," she said in a clear voice. "We come from Earth. We're happy to meet you." For a moment, there was silence. Then, a strange sound filled the air. It took Sarah a second to realize what it was. The aliens were laughing at them. A tall alien with blue skin pointed at them. "Look at these funny creatures," he said. "They're so small and pink." A round alien rolled around, laughing so hard it turned red. "Did you see their ship? It's like a toy." Sarah's smile dropped. This wasn't going as planned. She tried again. "We've come a long way to meet you. We hope we can be friends." The blue alien stopped laughing for a moment. "Friends? With you? Ha! You're just babies in space. What could you offer us?" Sarah felt her face get hot. She was getting angry, but she tried to stay calm. "We may be new to space, but we have lots to share. We're good at solving problems. We're creative. We never give up." The aliens laughed even harder. "Never give up?" A tree-like alien said. "Maybe you should. Go back to your little planet, little humans." Tom stepped forward. He looked mad. "Hey, that's not nice," he said. But Sarah stopped him. Getting angry wouldn't help. Just then, Sarah noticed something strange. In the back of the room, a group of small, furry aliens were hiding. They looked scared of humans. But why? Before Sarah could think more about it, the blue alien spoke again. Okay. You can stay for the party, but don't touch anything. You might break something with your clumsy hands." The aliens laughed again and went back to their party. They left the humans standing there, feeling silly and sad. Sarah looked at her team. They all looked upset. "What do we do now, boss?" Big Mike asked. Sarah thought for a moment. She remembered all the hard times humans had faced before. All the times people said they couldn't do something, but they did it anyway. She stood up straight and looked each team member in the eye. "We stay," she said firmly. "We show them what humans can do. We'll turn their laughs into cheers. Just watch." Her team nodded, standing taller. They may have crashed this space party, but they weren't leaving. Not until they showed the galaxy what humans were made of. As they walked into the party, Sarah couldn't help but glance back at the furry aliens. They were still hiding, still looking scared. Interesting, Sarah thought. Very interesting. She had a feeling there was more going on here than a simple space party. And she was going to find out what it was. The space adventure had just begun, and humans were here to stay, whether the aliens liked it or not. The big bad space monster. Sarah and her team were still at the space party. The aliens were still laughing at them. It wasn't fun at all. Suddenly, a loud alarm started ringing. Beep, beep, beep. It was so loud that everyone covered their ears. A big screen on the wall turned on. An alien with tentacles for a face appeared. He looked scared. Emergency! Emergency! The tentacle face alien shouted. The Void Eater is coming. The party stopped. All the aliens froze. Some screamed. Others started to cry. Sarah looked at her team. They were confused. What's a Void Eater? Tom asked. The blue alien who had laughed at them earlier now looked pale. It's a monster, he said, his voice shaking. A big bad space monster that eats everything. Maria, the smart one, asked, What do you mean by everything? A tree-like alien answered, It eats planets, stars, everything. Nothing can stop it. The room was in chaos. Aliens were running around, bumping into each other. Some were hiding under tables. Others were trying to leave the space station. Sarah watched all this with wide eyes. These aliens, who had been so mean to humans, were now acting like scared little kids. Just then, the big screen changed. It showed a map of space. There was a big, dark blob moving across it. It was heading right for them. That's the Void Eater, the tentacle face alien said. It will be here in 3 days. More panic, more screaming, more crying. Sarah turned to her team. We need to do something, she said. Mike, the big guy, looked worried. But what can we do? We're just humans. We're new to space. Sarah thought hard. Then she had an idea. Let's talk to those furry aliens, she said. The ones who looked scared of us. They found the furry aliens hiding in a corner. They were small, about the size of cats, with big eyes and long tails. Hi, Sarah said softly. I'm Sarah. What's your name? One furry alien stepped forward. I'm Floof, he said in a tiny voice. Are you going to eat us? Sarah was surprised. Eat you? No, we don't eat aliens. We want to be friends. Floof and his friends looked relieved. Oh good, Floof said. The last humans we met tried to eat us. That's why everyone's scared of humans. Sarah was shocked. Last humans, but we're the first humans in space. Floof shook his head. No, we met humans 100 years ago. They were mean and hungry. Now Sarah understood why everyone was so mean to them. Those weren't real humans, she explained. Real humans are nice. We want to help. Just then, the alarm went off again. Beep, beep, beep. The tentacle face alien appeared on the screen again. The Void Eater is coming faster, he yelled. We only have 1 day. More panic, more chaos. But this time, Sarah had an idea. She walked to the middle of the room and shouted, Quiet. Everyone stopped and looked at her. Listen up, Sarah said. We humans will help fight the Void Eater. The room was silent for a moment. Then all the aliens started laughing again. You? Fight the Void Eater, the blue alien said between laughs. You can't even fly your little toy ship properly. But Sarah didn't give up. We may be new to space, she said, but we're good at solving problems. We're brave, and we never, ever give up. The aliens stopped laughing. They looked at each other, confused. But what can you do? Asked the tree-like alien. Sarah smiled. We have a secret plan. It's called the Resilience Protocol. It's a special human trick. The aliens looked interested now. What's this trick? They asked. I can't tell you everything, Sarah said. But I can say this. We humans have faced big problems before. We've fought monsters on Earth. We know how to work together and find creative solutions. The room was quiet. The aliens were thinking. Then Floof stepped forward. "I believe in the humans," he said in his tiny voice. "They were nice to us. Maybe they can help." Slowly, other aliens started to nod. Maybe these humans could help after all. Sarah looked at her team. They all nodded, ready for action. "Okay," Sarah said. "Let's get to work. We have a big bad space monster to stop." As they started planning, Sarah couldn't help but smile. The aliens who laughed at them were now looking at them with hope. The Void Eater was coming. But now, humans were ready to show the universe what they could do. Humans say, "We'll do it." The big space station was buzzing with noise. Aliens from all over the galaxy were there for an emergency meeting. The Void Eater was coming, and everyone was scared. Sarah and her human team sat in the back. They watched as alien after alien went up to speak. Each one looked more worried than the last. A tall, skinny alien with 3 eyes spoke first. "We should run away," he said. "Let's all go to the other side of the galaxy." A blob-like alien disagreed. "No, we should hide. Let's find a planet and bury ourselves underground." A flying alien that looked like a sparkly cloud suggested, "Maybe if we give the Void Eater some planets to eat, it will leave us alone." Sarah listened to all these ideas. She shook her head. None of them would work. Just then, the blue alien who had laughed at the humans earlier stood up. "I have the best idea," he said proudly. "Let's build a big wall in space. The Void Eater won't be able to get past it." For a moment, the room was quiet. Then everyone started talking at once. "Yes, a wall. Make it super big. And super strong." Sarah looked at her team. Tom rolled his eyes. Maria facepalmed. Mike just shrugged. "This is crazy," Sarah whispered to her team. "A wall won't stop the Void Eater. We need to do something." Floof, the little furry alien, was sitting next to Sarah. He looked up at her with his big eyes. "Why don't you tell them your idea?" he asked. Sarah took a deep breath. She stood up and walked to the front of the room. All the aliens turned to look at her. "Excuse me," Sarah said loudly. "I have something to say." The room got quiet. Some aliens looked curious. Others looked annoyed. "All of your ideas won't work," Sarah said. Gasps filled the room. "The Void Eater is too big and too strong. We can't run. We can't hide. And we definitely can't stop it with a wall." The blue alien's face turned purple with anger. "Oh yeah," he shouted. "Then what's your great idea, little human?" Sarah stood up straight and looked around the room. "We'll fight it," she said simply. For a second, there was silence. Then the room exploded with laughter. "You? Fight the Void Eater?" An alien cackled. "With what?" "Your toy spaceships." Another one jeered. But Sarah didn't back down. "Yes, us, humans. We'll fight the Void Eater, and we'll win." The laughter got louder. Some aliens were rolling on the floor. They were laughing so hard. Sarah waited for the noise to die down. Then she spoke again, her voice strong and clear. "You all think humans are weak and stupid, but you're wrong. We've faced big problems before. We've fought monsters. We've survived disasters, and every single time, we've won." The room got quieter. Aliens were listening now. "We have something special," Sarah continued. "It's called the Resilience Protocol. It's not a weapon or a shield. It's a way of thinking, a way of never giving up, no matter what." She looked around the room, meeting the eyes of different aliens. "We humans are creative. We work together. We think outside the box. And most importantly, we never, ever give up." The room was silent now. All eyes were on Sarah. "So yes, we'll fight the Void Eater. We'll find a way to stop it. And we'll save the galaxy." For a long moment, no one spoke. Then, from the back of the room, A small voice piped up. It was Floof. "I believe in the humans," he squeaked. "They were nice to me. They didn't try to eat me. If they say they can fight the Void Eater, I think they can." Slowly, other aliens started nodding. They looked at each other, then back at Sarah. The blue alien stepped forward. He didn't look angry anymore. He looked hopeful. "You really think you can do this?" he asked Sarah. Sarah nodded firmly. "We know we can. But we'll need help. We'll need all of you." The room was quiet again. Then, one by one, aliens started to stand up. "I'll help," said the three-eyed alien. "Me too," said the blob alien. "Count me in," said the sparkly cloud alien. Soon, the whole room was standing. Aliens of all shapes and sizes, all ready to help. Sarah smiled. She looked back at her team. They were smiling too. "Okay, everyone," Sarah said. "Let's get to work. We have a Void Eater to stop." As the aliens cheered, Sarah felt a warmth in her heart. They had done it. Humans had stepped up when no one else would. And now, they weren't alone. The fight against the Void Eater was about to begin. And with the whole galaxy working together, Sarah knew they had a chance. It was time to show the universe what humans could really do. Earth becomes a super workshop. As soon as Sarah and her team got back to Earth, they called a big meeting. Leaders from all over the world came together. Scientists, soldiers, and smart people from every country joined in. Sarah told everyone about the Void Eater and how dangerous it was. "We promised the aliens we'd help," she said. "Now we need to work together to save the galaxy." At first, some people didn't believe her. "Aliens? Void Eaters? This sounds like a movie," they said. But then Sarah showed them videos from space. She even brought Floof, the little furry alien, to meet everyone. After that, everyone understood how serious things were. "Okay," said the President of the United States. "What do we do?" Sarah smiled. "We turn Earth into one big workshop," she said. "We'll build the best spaceships and the coolest weapons. We'll make things the aliens have never even thought of." And just like that, Earth changed overnight. Factories that used to make cars now made spaceship parts. Toy companies started making mini-robots for space battles. Even kids got involved, coming up with crazy ideas that sometimes worked. In New York, the Empire State Building became a giant antenna to talk to aliens. In Egypt, the pyramids opened up to reveal secret labs underneath. And in the middle of the ocean, a huge floating city appeared where scientists worked day and night. Every day, new and weird inventions popped up. 1. Bubble bombs. These didn't hurt anyone but trapped bad guys in giant, unbreakable bubbles. 2. Shrink rays. They could make big things small. Someone suggested shrinking the Void Eater to the size of a pea. 3. Space spaghetti. Long, stringy ropes that could tangle up enemy ships. 4. Tickle torpedoes. Instead of explosions, they tickled their targets into surrendering. Some ideas were silly, but that was okay. Sarah knew that sometimes the silliest ideas turned out to be the best ones. In Australia, a special team was building the kangaroo jumper. It was a spaceship that could jump through space like a kangaroo, moving faster than anyone thought possible. Deep in the Amazon rainforest, scientists found a special plant. When it was fed stardust, it grew into a living spaceship. They called it the cosmic leaf, and it could heal itself if it got hurt. Under the ice in Antarctica, engineers were building the penguin slider. It was a ship that could slide through space on ice beams it created itself. But the biggest project of all was happening in a secret place under the Pacific Ocean. There, the best minds on Earth were working on the Nexus fleet. The Nexus fleet was going to be amazing. The ships could join together like puzzle pieces to make one super big ship. They used special quantum engines that could teleport short distances, and they had shields made of pure energy that could bounce back any attack. Leading the Nexus Fleet project was Commander Zara Okonkwo. She was tough, smart, and not afraid of anything. "These ships are cool," Zara said to her team. "But remember, our best weapon is up here." She tapped her head. "We need to be clever and brave to beat the Void Eater." Zara started training the best pilots from around the world. They practiced in simulators that were like super advanced video games. The pilots learned to fly in weird ways, like backwards or upside down. They even practiced flying while blindfolded. "The Void Eater won't expect these moves," Zara told them. "We'll surprise it." All over Earth, millions of people were working hard. They knew the fate of the galaxy was in their hands. But instead of being scared, they were excited. Humans were doing what they did best, working together and coming up with crazy solutions to big problems. One day, as Sarah was checking on all the projects, she got a call. It was from the aliens. "Human Sarah," said the blue alien who had once laughed at her. He wasn't laughing now. He looked worried. "The Void Eater is getting closer. How soon can you be ready?" Sarah looked around at all the amazing things humans had built. She smiled confidently. "We're ready now," she said. "Tell everyone to get prepared. The Nexus fleet is coming to save the galaxy." As she ended the call, Sarah felt proud. Earth had become more than just a super workshop. It had become a beacon of hope for the entire galaxy. The stage was set. The ships were ready. The greatest adventure in human history was about to begin. The first big fight. The day had finally come. The Nexus fleet was ready to face the Void Eater. Commander Zara Okonkwo stood on the bridge of the main ship, looking out at the stars. "All ships, report in," Zara said into her communicator. One by one, the captains of the other ships answered. Kangaroo Jumper, ready to hop. Cosmic Leaf, green and growing. Penguin Slider, cool and ready. Zara smiled. Earth's best ships and bravest people were here. They were humanity's hope. Suddenly, all the ship's alarms went off. "BEEP, BEP, BEP. "Commander," shouted a crew member. "We've spotted the Void Eater." Everyone looked at the big screen. There it was, a huge dark shape moving through space. It was bigger than a planet and looked like a storm cloud made of ink. Zara took a deep breath. "This is it, everyone," she said. "Remember your training. Let's show this space monster what humans can do." The Nexus fleet moved forward. As they got closer, they could see the Void Eater better. It had huge mouths all over it, each one big enough to swallow a moon. The alien ships were there too, hiding behind a nearby planet. They watched, sure that the humans would lose quickly. Zora gave the order. "All ships, attack pattern Alpha." The human ships split up. The Kangaroo Jumper bounced around the Void Eater, confusing it. The Cosmic Leaf flew in close, its plant-like surface hiding it from the monster's eyes. The Void Eater noticed the ships. It opened its mouths wide and started to suck everything in like a giant vacuum cleaner. "Now," Zora shouted. The Penguin Slider shot forward. It made a path of space ice and slid right into one of the Void Eater's mouths. "Are they crazy?" An alien watching from far away said, "They'll be eaten." But then something amazing happened. The Penguin Slider came out of another mouth on the other side of the Void Eater. It had slid right through the monster. The Void Eater looked confused. It had never had food escape before. "Phase 2, Zora commanded. The main ship of the Nexus fleet broke apart into smaller ships. They flew around the Void Eater like a swarm of bees, shooting it with special weapons. Bubble bombs exploded all around, trapping parts of the Void Eater. Tickle torpedoes made it wiggle and shake. The Void Eater tried to fight back. It shot dark energy beams at the human ships, but the ships were too fast, too tricky. They ducked and dodged, never getting hit. "It's working," someone shouted. "The Void Eater is getting weaker." But then the Void Eater did something unexpected. It started to spin really fast, creating a huge space whirlpool. Ships were getting pulled in. Even some small moons nearby started to move towards the monster. "Emergency Plan Delta," Zara yelled. The Nexus fleet ships came back together, forming one big ship again. They flew straight at the Void Eater. "What are they doing?" The aliens watching cried. "They'll be destroyed." At the last second, the Nexus fleet ship teleported. It disappeared just before hitting the Void Eater, and reappeared behind it. While the Void Eater was confused, the cosmic leaf flew in close. It released millions of tiny seeds. The seeds stuck to the Void Eater and started to grow. Soon, the Void Eater was covered in glowing plants. The plants sucked up its dark energy, making it weaker and weaker. The monster slowed down. Its mouth closed. The space whirlpool stopped. For a moment, everything was quiet. Then Zora's voice came over the communicator. "We did it. The Void Eater is sleeping." Cheers erupted from every ship. Humans had won their first big space battle. The alien ships came out from hiding. They couldn't believe what they had seen. "Impossible," said the blue alien. "How did they do it?" Zara's ship flew over to the alien fleet. On the screen, Zara smiled at the amazed aliens. "That's the power of human creativity," she said, "and we're just getting started." The aliens looked at each other, then back at the sleeping Void Eater. For the first time, they felt something new when they looked at humans. It wasn't fear or laughter. It was respect. As the Nexus fleet prepared to head home for repairs, Zara looked out at her team. "Great job, everyone," she said. "But remember, this was just the first battle. The real war is just beginning." The humans nodded, tired but proud. They had faced the biggest, baddest monster in the galaxy and won. Whatever came next, they were ready for it. The universe had just learned an important lesson. Never underestimate the power of humanity, making new friends and kicking monster butt. After the big fight with the Void Eater, things changed. Aliens weren't laughing at humans anymore. Now, they wanted to be friends. The blue alien, whose name was Zorblax, came to visit Earth. His eyes were wide as he looked around. "Your planet is so colorful," he said. Sarah showed Zorblax and other aliens around. They were amazed by everything. Trees made them gasp. Plants that don't try to eat you. Amazing. Dogs made them laugh. Furry creatures that like you. Unbelievable. But the aliens were most impressed by human food. Zorblax tried ice cream for the first time. His 3 eyes went wide, and he shouted, "Great galaxies! This is the best thing in the universe." Soon, aliens were coming to Earth to learn human ways, and humans were going to alien planets to share their ideas. Meanwhile, the fight against the Void Eaters continued. Yes, Void Eaters. Turns out, there was more than one. Commander Zara led the Nexus fleet from battle to battle. Humans taught aliens their tricks, and aliens shared their space knowledge. Together, they were stronger than ever. Here are some of the funny and exciting things that happened. 1. The pickle trick. In one battle, they were losing badly. Then someone had a crazy idea. They beamed pickles into the Void Eaters' mouths. The sour taste confused the monsters so much, they ran away. 2. The giggle gas. Scientists made a special gas that made everyone laugh. They used it on a Void Eater, and guess what? The monster started laughing too. It laughed so hard, it couldn't fight anymore. 3. The space disco. Humans discovered that Void Eaters hated funky music, so they held a giant space disco. As Earth's best DJs played music, the monsters fled, covering where their ears would be. 4. The cosmic sneeze. On a dusty planet, humans and aliens worked together to make a giant fan. When a Void Eater came close, they blew all the dust at it. The monster sneezed so hard, it sneezed itself into another galaxy. 5. The stinky surprise. They found a planet full of super smelly flowers. They stuffed a whole bunch into torpedoes and shot them at a Void Eater. The monsters' faces all turned green, and it swam away as fast as it could. Each victory made humans and aliens cheer together. They weren't just teammates now. They were becoming real friends. One day, Floof, the little furry alien, had an idea. "What if we throw a party?" he said. "A big galaxy-wide party to celebrate our friendship." Everyone loved the idea. Soon, the biggest party ever was happening all across space. On Earth, aliens danced to human music and ate human food. On alien planets, humans tried weird and wonderful alien games. Zara taught a group of blob aliens how to play volleyball. It was very messy but lots of fun. In space, ships from all different races flew together in a giant parade. They made shapes with their ships, like a giant smiley face that could be seen from faraway planets. Even the Void Eaters seemed confused by all the fun. They stayed far away, watching the party with their many eyes. As Sarah watched all the new friends having fun, she smiled. This was what humans had always dreamed of, being part of a big, happy galaxy family. But the party couldn't last forever. Just as everyone was really starting to relax, the alarms went off. VEEP, BEEP, BEP. A giant screen lit up, showing a map of the galaxy. Everyone gasped. Hundreds of Void Eaters were coming, all at once. The room went quiet. This was the biggest danger they had ever faced. For a moment, fear filled the air. Then Zara stepped forward. "Listen up, everyone," she shouted. "Yes, there are more monsters coming. But look around you. We're not alone anymore. We have friends from all over the galaxy. Together, we can beat anything." Cheers filled the air. Humans high-fived aliens with tentacles. Blob aliens bumped against scaly aliens in excitement. Sarah nodded at Zara. "You're right," she said. "It's time for the biggest plan yet. It's time for the Galaxy Guardian Project." As Sarah started to explain the plan, everyone leaned in to listen. Humans and aliens, working together, were about to face their greatest challenge yet. The party was over, but the real adventure was just beginning. The galaxy was about to see what friendship, courage, and a whole lot of crazy human ideas could do. Humans saved the day and party. The Galaxy Guardian Project was ready. Humans and aliens from all over had worked together to make it happen. Now, they faced their biggest challenge. Hundreds of Void Eaters coming at once. Commander Zara stood on the bridge of the main ship. She looked at the big screen showing all the Void Eaters. It was scary, but she wasn't afraid. "Everyone ready?" Zara asked. "Ready," came the answer from humans and aliens on thousands of ships. "Then let's go save the galaxy," Zara shouted. The plan started with a trick. They made a fake planet that looked super tasty to Void Eaters. It was like a giant space burger. When the Void Eaters saw it, they all rushed towards it. They were so excited for a big meal that they didn't notice they were being led into a trap. As soon as all the Void Eaters were close to the fake planet, Zara gave the signal. "Now," she yelled. Suddenly, ships appeared all around the Void Eaters. But these weren't normal ships. They were special ships that humans and aliens had built together. There was the Cosmic Vacuum, which could suck up dark energy. The Starlight Sprinkler, which showered the monsters with happy, glittery light. And the Big Space Broom, which could sweep Void Eaters into a giant space dustpan. The battle was on. Void Eaters roared and tried to eat everything. But the ships were too quick and too clever. The Cosmic Vacuum zoomed around, sucking up the Void Eaters' power. "Yum, yum," said the alien driving it. "Dark energy tastes like grape juice." The Starlight Sprinkler covered everything in sparkly light. The Void Eaters sneezed and blinked, confused by all the brightness. And the Big Space Broom swept up Void Eaters like they were dust bunnies under a cosmic couch. But the Void Eaters weren't giving up. They started to join together, making one supergiant Void Eater. "Oh no," gasped an alien with tentacles for hair. "It's too big." But Zara just smiled. "Don't worry," she said. "We planned for this too. Time for the secret weapon." She pressed a big red button. Suddenly, all the good guy ships started to join together too. They formed a giant robot, bigger than a planet. "Let's do this," Zara shouted from inside the robot's head. The giant robot and the giant Void Eater started to wrestle in space. It was the biggest battle the galaxy had ever seen. They punched and kicked and rolled around. Whole solar systems had to duck out of the way. Finally, the robot had the Void Eater in a big bear hug. "Now," Zara yelled. The robot started to glow. All the aliens and humans inside were thinking happy thoughts. Love, friendship, pizza parties, all the good stuff. The happy energy was too much for the Void Eater. It started to shrink and shrink. Soon, it was no bigger than a basketball. Zara reached out and caught the tiny Void Eater. "Gotcha," she said. Cheers erupted from every ship and every planet. They had done it. The galaxy was saved. As the giant robot broke apart into ships again, everyone was laughing and crying happy tears. Aliens hugged humans. Humans high-fived aliens, even the ones with no hands. "We did it," Sarah said, floating up to Zara. "Your plan worked." Zara smiled. "No," she said. "Our plan worked. All of us together." Just then, Floof the furry alien popped up. "So," he said with a big grin, "is it party time now?" Everyone laughed. "You bet it is," Zara said. "Let's have the biggest party the galaxy has ever seen." And what a party it was. Every planet joined in. There was music and dancing and food from a million worlds. On Earth, aliens tried pizza and ice cream for the first time. On alien worlds, humans tasted weird and wonderful space foods. Some were yummy. Some were interesting. In space, ships did amazing light shows. They made pictures in the stars, like a giant cosmic fireworks display. The tiny Void Eater even joined the fun. It turned out, all it needed was some friends and a good party. As Sarah looked around at all the happy faces, human, alien, and even X-Monster, she felt proud. Humans had done more than save the day. They had brought the whole galaxy together. "You know," she said to Zara and Floof, "I think this is the start of something amazing." Zara nodded. "Yep," she said. "The galaxy will never be the same. And that's a good thing." Floof just grinned. "Less talking, more dancing," he said, grabbing them both with his furry paws. As they joined the galaxy-wide conga line, one thing was clear. The future was bright. The galaxy was safe, and the party was just getting started. And it was all thanks to the humans who stepped up when no one else would.